My dad bought me my first set of golf clubs when I was 6. By 8, Phil Mickelson's on TV, and I'm just there chipping in this little practice area I set up right there in my living room. My junior year, even though it means leaving all of my friends, my family, I even break up with my girlfriend, Lindsay, I go to a boarding school just for golfers. And it pays off. I get a scholarship to play Division I at Davidson College. And I'm moving in my freshman year, and I meet this guy across the hall. His name is Chase. And Chase and I become best friends, hanging out together all the time. And one afternoon, we're in my room, we're just talking, and I notice just sort of fade out the words that he's saying. Now I'm just watching his lips move. Huh, he's kind of cute. Later that night, we're pre-gaming on the hall with the guys like we always do. Chase and I exchange some glances. I pretend to point at something across the room, just to graze his hand. Whoa. It's like a jolt of electricity runs through me. 2 weeks later, and I can't stop thinking about Chase. One night, I'm standing there in front of the bathroom mirror. What the heck is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Stop. Stop thinking about him. Do you really want to go down this path? No. You are not gay. I am not gay. But that summer, when I kissed Chase for the first time, I know. We go back to school that fall, and we are keeping things on the down low. Meanwhile, my dad, he's been calling and calling and calling, and I'm just ignoring him because he only ever wants to talk about 3 things: golf, grades, and girls. And I don't know how to tell him about Chase, but I know I got to tell him. So I pick a date. 3 weeks from today, he's coming to visit me at a golf tournament in Georgia. I'm going to tell him then. That night at dinner, y'all know how this goes. I am just pushing food around my plate, trying to find the words to share, trying to find the courage to share until finally, just as he's about to sign the dinner check, Dad, I'm gay and I'm happy. His name is Chase. Dad drops the pen he's using to sign the check, and then he just looks at me. And he says, I am so proud of you. That's awesome. Thank you. I think, well, that went really well. But I know, it might not have. But it did, because my dad made me feel safe, seen, accepted. And I know the way he showed up in that moment, the way he handled that one conversation, was a key reason I was able to become SVP of Organizational Development at a $40 million company with 200 employees by the age of 30. And it's why, since then, my work has been all about helping people and organizations identify ripple effect moments, create ripple effect moments, scale ripple effect moments, and turn those moments into meaningful momentum for their teams, their business, their communities. Because how you show up today, tomorrow, the next day will impact people 5, 10, 20 years from now. So what we're going to do today, right here, right now, is we're going to create a ripple effect moment together. So I want you to imagine something with me. I want you to imagine you're right at the edge of a calm pond. You got a pebble in your hand, nice smooth pebble, and you toss that pebble into the pond. You watch the splash, and you see those ripples move outward. So what do we need in order to create this ripple effect? 3 things. You need a catalyst, something to start it. You need an environment, somewhere for that ripple effect to take place. And crucially, you need a disturbance. And the disturbance is what creates that transfer of energy, because that's all a ripple effect is. It's energy being transferred through water molecules that just bob up and down. The water doesn't move, the energy does. And because we're all leaders in this room, here's what I want you to remember. Leadership is not just about how present you are in the moment. It's about how permanent the energy you create in that moment becomes. I'll say that again. Leadership isn't just about how present you are in the moment. It's about how permanent the energy you create in that moment becomes. And so from this point forward, my invitation to all of you is to think about yourselves as the catalyst. You're the catalyst causing the disturbance. You are the pebble. Everywhere you go, you're causing ripples. Every conversation, every interaction with your team, your clients, the people who checked you in at the hotel, is causing a ripple. Every time you pitch your business, every time you share your story, every time you meet someone new this week, everything you say and everything you don't say is causing ripples. And we need to get present to the impact that those ripples are having on other people. You know, when I was about 10 years old, I lived 90 miles north of New York City. And that summer, a group of us, we packed into this church van, and we drove 45 minutes east across the border into Connecticut to the ballpark at Harbor Yard. And we're there to root on the home team, the Bridgeport Bluefish. And this stadium holds about 5,000 people. And we get there, it's this beautiful summer day. We're eating popcorn and hot dogs, and I'm drinking soda because mom's not around. And by the time the seventh inning comes, the Bluefish are losing. And they need a rally to turn this game around. So just then, in big, bold letters on the screen, it says, "Do the wave." And I'm like, yes, we're going to do the wave. So I look around to see who's going to start it, and nobody's moving. So I jump out of my seat, I run down to the front of my section, and I'm like, all right, we're going to start with this group right here. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Nothing. Nobody moves. Nobody flinches. I'm like, come on, we're doing the wave, we're doing the wave. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. 6 people stand up. And I'm like, come on, we got to do this, we got to do this. Come on, we're doing the wave. I go back to my section, like, all right, on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. 20 people stand up. And now I'm pumped because I know if I can get 20 people to stand up, I can get this whole place to stand up. So I'm running back and forth and I'm calling people out. I'm like, get ready because it's coming to you. And I go back to my section like, we need you too, so get ready, it's coming to you. So I go back to the front of my section. I'm like, everybody, we're going to do the wave this time. We're going to do the wave. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. And everybody in my section stands up. And everybody in the next section stands up. And I'm just watching as this wave goes all the way around the stadium. And I am like, yes! I have no idea if the Bluefish won the game that day. But I saw 5,000 strangers working together to create something bigger than themselves. And that was the victory in itself. And now we're actually going to do the wave, because y'all were like, do we do this? Do we not do this? I'm not really sure. So, who remembers what we need to start a ripple effect? A catalyst. This is my crew right here, my catalyst. Are y'all ready? So, thank you for your participation earlier. That was amazing. So if you're able, on the count of 3, we're going to send the wave across this room. We're going to kick out the NGLCC conference like we never have before, and we're going to get this going, all right? We ready? On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Keep it going, keep it going. Woo! Yes. Beautiful. Now, you always got to send it back. You got to send it back. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Woo! Beautiful. Give yourselves a round of applause. That is a workout. Okay, a quick water break here. So I've done this with dozens and dozens of audiences. And each time I ask my audiences, like, what can we learn from this story, from this experience of doing the wave together? And people always say things like, well, it takes a lot of courage to be that person to stand up to start something. And they'll say, if you don't get the results you want at first, just keep trying, keep showing up, being persistent. And how you don't need everybody involved. At first, you just need a few people willing to join in. And there are always people who are resisting this hard, I'm not doing the wave, this is dumb, we're not doing this. And those are the people that are actually it's actually kind of fun once I just joined in. And there's this unstoppable momentum. And what I keep thinking about with this, and what I've been reflecting on recently, is that at a time when it feels like our future is more uncertain than ever, when it feels like change can come crashing down like a wave when you least expect it, and when there is so much out of our control, we have to remember that while you may control less than you'd like, you influence more than you realize. Because small moments, small actions can lead to transformative change. And here's one of my favorite ways to bring that to life. When I facilitate workshops with groups, one of the things that I have them do is write a list. All the people you can possibly think of who've created a ripple effect in your life. Parents, teachers, mentors, managers, coaches, friends. And I was facilitating this workshop with a group of 25 senior leaders at a biopharmaceutical company last summer in Philadelphia. And so we're writing our list, we debrief our lists, and Margot raises her hand and she says, Chris, there's a lot of people on my list who don't even know they're on my list. And everybody in the room started nodding in agreement. The same was true for them. So I started this experiment. I pulled out index cards, and I said, write a note to just one person on that list, letting them know the impact that they had on your life. Now, I've done this enough times to know that, on the whole, we're really bad at letting people know the impact that they had on us, especially years later. Maybe that's true for you too. But I want you to think about it from your perspective, from where you sit as business owners, as entrepreneurs. We may all have different businesses, but at the end of the day, we're in the business of making an impact. And I don't know about you, but I know for me sometimes, if I'm being really honest with you, there are days when I wonder, does this work really make a difference? In the grand scheme of things, does this really matter? Am I really having an impact? And I've surrendered to this idea that we'll never fully know. We'll never fully know the extent of the impact that we create, and that is the beauty and the allure of ripple effect moments, is that you start a ripple even though you have no idea who it will reach or how far it will go. So you trust your voice, trust your message, trust your story, and keep showing up, creating small, intentional ripples every single day, because that is where your legacy lives. Your legacy lives in the impact you may never see, but somebody else will never forget. I'll say that again. Your legacy lives in the impact you may never see, but somebody else will never forget. And so what started that day in Philadelphia as an experiment has now turned into a movement to shine a light on other people's significance. What a gift that is. And I'm inviting you to join that movement. Since August of last year, we have sent thousands and thousands of postcards to people in 40-plus different states, 9 different countries, and we're just getting started. So there's a postcard sitting at your table in front of you, and there's somebody on your list who deserves to know they're on your list. Now, you don't have to fill this out right this second, but I do want you to take a moment right now and think about that one person. Maybe it's the first client who chose to work with you and it got your business off the ground. Maybe it's a corporate buyer in this room who opened a door for you and it exploded your business. Maybe it's a friend who believed in you when you didn't believe enough in yourself. We're on a mission to send 1 million postcards, 1 million moments of unexpected delight, and we need your help. So at some point this morning, I invite you to fill out this postcard. And at the break, I'll be outside those doors. You can hand them to me. My team will stamp them with an actual stamp. We'll go to the mail, we'll send them out, and we'll turn this event, this experience, into its own ripple effect moment. Now, I want you to imagine all of those postcards going out to the respective recipients. And imagine each time someone receives that postcard, and it turns maybe a heavy day into a hopeful one. It puts a genuine smile on their face. It fills them with a sense of purpose. It reminds them that they matter. It inspires them to create a ripple effect moment for somebody else. And then it happens again and again and again, until the ripples that we all create today are reaching people that we'll never even meet. The postcards are great. People love receiving the postcards, but it's never been about, never will be about the postcards. It's about the mindset we bring when we communicate to people. What I call a ripple effect mindset, powered by 5 core human qualities: vulnerability, kindness, curiosity, empathy, humility. It's our responsibility to bring these in every role, room, and relationship, as business owners, parents, spouses, managers, mentors, and friends. We're not going to go around handing out thousands of postcards every year, but you do have thousands of opportunities to start a ripple when you apply a ripple effect mindset and start identifying all of the ripple effect moments available to you. Interviewing someone for a job, ripple effect moment. Connecting 2 people in this room whose paths could change as a result, ripple effect moment. See someone standing alone at a networking break and you invite them into your conversation, ripple effect moment. Start thinking about your days as a combination of ripple effect moments. Because studies on waves, like the one we did before, they've seen that in a stadium with 100,000 people, all it takes is 20 people to start the wave. So that means in a stadium with 5,000 people, at an event with 5,000 people, in an organization with 5,000 people, all it takes is one. One person with a ripple effect mindset to completely shift the momentum. That person can be you. Now here's what's really exciting. Think about what's possible when it's not just one person. Think about what's possible when all 900 of us go out and we do this at scale. In fact, let's think about that for the next 3 days. Imagine the quality of the human connection we'll experience, the relationships we'll build, the partnerships we'll forge, the sense of belonging. You get to be the pebble. And when you take ownership of your ripple effect, you impact not just the people directly around you or on your team, you influence your entire organization. And not just the organization, because the ripples move out to your vendors, your suppliers, your partners, the families, and the communities that you serve. I held back from sharing my story about my dad for a long time, because I know people, a lot of you in this room, who had a similar moment, but a lot worse response to it. And so there are people who hear my story and they say, gosh, Chris, you're so lucky. You're lucky that your dad responded that way. But I know one of the reasons my dad was able to have the loving response that he did was because of the work that was laid down for years before I even had that conversation with him. By people I've never met, that he's never met, who were willing to do what it took to make that conversation over dinner with my dad feel safe. I was the recipient of a ripple effect that started long before I came along and is continuing to ripple out today. And that is why I am so committed to making sure that everybody in this room understands the enormous, powerful potential of your personal ripple effects. So you may say that I'm lucky, but I am not willing to leave that to chance. And I don't believe you're willing to leave that to chance either. There is so much good that's going to come out of this conference the next few days, and I am so pumped for this. But right now, in this moment, the time that we have, we're not going to solve the racism problem. We're not going to close the gender pay gap. We're not going to solve the mental health crisis. We're not going to resolve any disparate opinions about access to healthcare or gender expression. But what we can do What each of us can do is show up and make a difference for the person directly in front of us to make sure that everybody on our teams, in our organizations, in our families feels safe, feels seen, feels heard, knows that they can come to us and share their experience that we may never fully understand. And if we can do that, if we can create a space where all of that happens, the ripple effect is that these big problems get taken care of and we are the last generation of people to deal with them. And if we do that, then there will be people who 5, 10, 20 years from now are recipients of the ripple effects that we all create today. But without the pebble in the pond, those ripples never reach the shore. So be the pebble, start a ripple, and let's be the last generation of people who have to talk about how to be a decent human being. I'm Chris Rollins. Thank you so much, and remember, the ripple starts with you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.